Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by a healthy, albeit shameful helping of pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably acquired knowledge. All right, Locke, what I want to get into, like talking about what we put in our bodies, yeah? So...
Terrible things.
Right. Now, admittedly, I'm not. I don't worry about or fuss over my health a lot. Like I don't solely eat organic foods and stuff like that. And I often opt for like frozen foods and things. So this isn't coming from a place of, like I'm not on a high horse or anything, like trying to talk down on people and how, like what they eat, what they drink and this, that, or the other. I'm just trying to state some concerns that I've seen and read and heard floating around the interwebs and different other podcasts and what have you. And I just wanted to discuss it, maybe get your thoughts on it. Like I started looking into permaculture, right? Which is, it's just a way of growing food that's sustainable and self-preserving, right? So you have, like you enrich your soil and you plant these plants that don't really produce anything useful, and they grow and they create kind of a foundation for foods that are or plants that do produce sustenance of some kind. And I thought it's a really cool subject. And I really enjoy looking into it and finding different ways in which to, grow your own food and things, and enriching the soil so that you get all these incredible nutrients from your food, which is something that it's been stated a lot lately, where people are saying that a lot of the food that we have, particularly in the U.S., I mean, I don't know about other places, but it's a lot of our food is lacking a lot of these essential nutrients because of the soil in which it's harvested from. And they're saying like things like monoculture, right? It's unnatural, like these big swaths of fields that only produce like one crop. It's not good for the soil because it doesn't have this level of diversity, that's needed to enrich the soil with proper nutrients to feed the crop that's growing. And now I'm not trying to talk down to like, farmers or anything, but I do see, it makes sense, right? Like it the more I look into it, the more that makes sense, right? Because like I can't even, like I don't know enough about like all the different nutrients that you can get from particular plants that will enrich your soil.
Great,
so I can't really
you and I both.
Right. So I can't really speak to that too much, but with all these deficiencies that we have in our society, as far as like not getting proper nutrients, like it makes a lot of sense because of all these monocrop resources that we're getting, and they just have nothing to them. So do you have any thoughts on, what, like things that you've seen, patterns that you've seen that brings some kind of legitimacy to that theory?
No, I honestly can't. I mean, living in the farmlands where most of the farmers, if not all of them that I know, typically grow only one particular thing.
Yeah.
And then they just have the animals, which might be, it's usually cows,
Right.
chickens. You may have a couple of farms that might have pigs.
Yeah, but it's like when these people grow these monocrop farms, it's always like I see it as being like when they're planting these things and they're like they always have to treat the soil, right? Like they
Right.
they put these chemicals and stuff in the soil to help, produce like bigger yields and what have you, right?
Right.
Because to make up for the lack of nutrients
Yep.
that are actually in the soil.
Right.
And so that's where it started like making sense in my head, where I was like, we're just like plumping up these crops, but it's not actually producing any nutrients within them, right? It's just kind of hollow calories without any nutritious minerals and what have you. So like it's I don't know, it just seems like a way of faking it. There's no quality there. And that's where I see, why people opt for like shopping for organic, foods, but at the same time, like it's so expensive, isn't it? Like you ever get anything organic at the grocery store? Like if you're shopping for fruits or veggies, do you often go for the organic sticker or
I'd say we only recently started going for organic stuff by going to Aldi's, but before we weren't really shopping and looking for organic type stuff, whether it be meats or whatever. We just weren't looking at it. But I think that is really a problem with a lot of mass production type stuff, or the mass making of anything, whether it be meat or your vegetables or what have you, that they use additives or whatever to make things plumper to get that increase in volume that they want.
yeah, and like I've always been like a no fuss, when I go shopping for fruits or veggies. I've always been the guy who has like looked at things, like held like one of these, like an onion in my hand that was mass produced and another one in my hand that had the organic sticker on it. And I'd be like, why is this organic one so much more expensive and they taste the same? Why would I go for the organic one? That's stupid. And like I've been guilty of that, like because I don't put much thought into it. I don't consider like the nutrients and what have you. I'm like I'm buying food, you know, just to get me by in a day and enjoy myself, right? Because I want the taste, want the that gratification of a nice tasting meal, and this mass produced thing uh, could give that to me, right? And yeah, so like I'm guilty of it myself, and I still do it. I haven't had like this big conversion in my life where I started going to like nothing but Whole Foods, right?
Right.
I don't do that. I can't afford that. so I get why people don't fuss with it. There's also this thing where I've been looking into, as far as artificial sweeteners. Yeah. Like I heard about it at first from a friend's dad who's a doctor years ago, and he was going off on diet drinks because he would always drink diet sodas and what have you. He wouldn't opt for like the full sugar. But then he said they started doing studies on artificial sweetened drinks, And he said after the results that he saw from that test that they had done, he'll never drink like any kind of diet soda ever again. Right? He said it's far better just to go with the full sugar. If you're gonna have a soda, go for full sugar because these artificial sweeteners, they he said there was like a chemical compound that wasn't possible to be broken down, right? Like your body couldn't break it down, and scientists haven't been able to figure out a way for the body to do so. Because the only way that they found to break it down is by heating it up to like 350 something degrees Fahrenheit, and then it would finally break down. And that was the only way they could figure out how to do it. And and because of that fact, and because that a nutrient goes into the bloodstream, they suspect that it might lead to the brain and cause things such as dementia, right? But I mean, like, I can't like put all my eggs in that basket, right? Because there's any number of things that people say lead to dementia, right? Absolutely everything will. So it's hard to take that one seriously, but like, it's another one of those things where like it kind of makes sense. It's a chemical compound that can't be broken down. It leads to the brain. It's stored there, and I have no idea what it does to the brain. I mean, I'm not even sure that whatever scientists have been doing these studies are completely convinced by it. They're just suspecting that it might do. So do you often opt for like diet drinks and artificially sweetened things?
See, I remember when they really started introducing more diet drinks, like Diet Coke, Diet Mountain Dew. I really remember when Diet Mountain Dew came out. I was like, oh, let me give that a try. Like,
oh man, I used to drink Diet Mountain Dew a lot as a teenager, really, or early 20s. It was one of my favorites.
it was okay to start, but after a while, I really started to notice that there was something weird about it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. The taste and everything eventually just, it all didn't taste right. I stopped drinking diet drinks altogether. What I drink now probably still isn't always the healthiest alternative. Especially with the energy drinks, like what I'm drinking right now.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that too.
I've been getting a lot of these Ghost energy drinks because they're low in calories. Even they're low in sugars. As opposed to the Monster energy drinks that I used to always drink. And I used to drink the extra strength ones that I can't even find them anymore. But around the time that I used to drink their extra strength stuff, I used to have these bad, it felt like heart palpitations. So like, it felt like just a sudden pound to my chest. And whatever I was doing, like if I was laying down and I was in a rest state, I would feel this and I'd jump up from my sleep and I'd almost whack whoever's in my vicinity, and they'd go, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, I'm probably dying. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna die. No, dude, I'm completely guilty of that myself. Like the amount of energy drinks that I would drink like in my teenage years, and yeah, like I'd like, start chilling out, and then my heart feels like it's a fish out of water or something flopping around. And it would just freak me out so bad. I'm just like, I'm having a heart attack. It never was that. But yeah, I could definitely see that as too many energy drinks or too high of caffeine, causing heart problems. I mean, I feel like you might have to intake a lot of caffeine to get to that point where where it starts affecting your heart?
I had a lot. I would have like 2 or 3 a day
Oh wow. Okay.
of these extra strength ones because I'd be so sleep deprived that I figured, what's a good way to wake me up? An energy drink. I'd grab one and I'd be like, well, they're on sale. Let me grab another one. And then if those didn't wake me up, I'd grab another one. And then I would have this period of where I'm just like really antsy, really shaky, which like goes to one of my stories when a cop pulled me over and wondered if I was drinking. He's like, well, what's that I smell on your breath? And I said, it's an energy drink. Look.
I'm wired. Oh man. Like nowadays when it comes to energy drinks, like I mean I still drink energy drinks. I love them, right? It's if I like sometimes I'll cut myself off and I'll go for a fast without energy drinks for like months at a time because like, I feel like I'm drinking too much and I gotta, correct myself again. But I get this feeling, right? If I drink too much caffeine, I get this, the anxiety, right? Sometimes you get anxious from too much caffeine, and it creates this. I don't know if this happens to most other people. I'm sure it does affect a lot of people, but like you get anxious and then you get this sense of dread, right? And it just ruins my night. Like if I drink any caffeine during the day, I have to be like really careful about it because I have to like I can't go over this threshold or else I get this anxiety and I feel this sense of dread, and it doesn't matter how much water I chug after that. When I'm laying in bed tonight, I know my mind is going to be swimming, to the point where I'm just like, there's no way I can sleep right now because my mind's going to be all over the place. I'm going to be thinking about, dark stuff, and I'm just going to be hating life for the next few hours.
Right.
Right. So I always have to play it pretty careful. Whereas like when I was younger, like I feel like those problems weren't as severe as they are now. It was more of just intaking caffeine until it started affecting me physically, But nowadays it's just a psychological thing. Right.
Right.
But yeah, as far as energy drinks go, I mean, I am guilty of drinking the, lower calorie ones or the artificially sweetened ones, which I have an energy drink right now as we speak. And I'm wondering what it is. Sucralose? I think that's the one that causes the issues. Sucralose. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. All your artificially sweetened things. If it has sucralose, I'm pretty sure that's the one that is difficult or impossible for the body to break down.
It'd be funny you're just saying it wrong this whole time.
What, sucralose?
Just be funny if it turns out you've just been saying it wrong the whole time.
Yeah. Man, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I'm not...
Because if that's the case, that's exactly what my drink has right now.
Is it? Is it? I'm pretty sure that's the one, though. Pretty sure. Wait, I gotta Google it.
Let it be. Let it be the thing. We all gotta die of something, I suppose. Let it be my energy drink that sends me to an early grave.
Now, this is one of the first things that popped up in Google when I Googled it. And it says, why can't we metabolize sucralose? Sucralose is made from sucrose, which is table sugar, but replaces 3 hydrogen-oxygen groups on the sucrose molecule with 3 chlorine atoms. This makes a calorie-free sweetener. This transformation makes it unrecognizable and therefore cannot be broken down by enzymes. Okay, so that is the one, sucralose.
So that's why my
man.
calorie count is so low.
Yeah, that's the... You replaced hydrogen oxygen groups on the sucrose molecule with chlorine atoms.
Makes me wonder, there's this other energy drink that I've been looking at, which has been pretty good, called Celsius. Let's see if they have the same thing. No, it does not appear. No, there it is. Right at the ending.
Yep, all these artificially sweetened things had that sucralose stuff. It's odd. I don't know. I don't know if it causes problems. I mean, it's just something that's being studied, and we're not speaking in indefinites here. It's just, something that's suspected to cause issues simply because it can't be digested, metabolized by the body.
Right.
So it's man, maybe that's what it is. Like going back to even the food stuff, right? Like there's all this stuff that we are faking, right? We're just manipulating these chemical properties of things that we ingest to fulfill some kind of need. Yeah? Or some kind of want, I guess. You can't really consider it a need. Well, maybe for food, because, you gotta eat. But anyway, no, it's like we're just creating things in a lab to, fulfill these wants, and obviously it's not looking like it's very good for us. I mean, probably should have saw that coming, right?
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, people always told me you should be careful about drinking those energy drinks. And I go, why? What could be the possible problem? Now, I definitely don't drink like 2 a day like I once did.
Right.
At least not as much as I used to. At this point, I've kept it to purely the weekends. I drink a lot of water otherwise. I am the true advocate of water. You drink plenty of water. Something that was told to me a lot over the years. And I did realize that water does have a flavor. Water does have a flavor, whether you believe it or not. Deer Park is different than Aquafina. You can taste it.
It is different. And I hate it. Like, I don't know what the stigma is about it, where people are like, oh, it tastes the same. Like, no, it doesn't.
I don't know how people can say that it tastes the same.
Why are you being ignorant? Get over yourself. No one's going to think you're like, some kind of tough guy because you think tap water tastes the same as spring water.
Wrong.
Like,
wrong,
get over yourself.
Whatever you say, that's wrong.
Tap water is trash, bud.
Some people the people who have filters on their tap water, that's usually some good tap water. The other question is it well water or is it city water? And city water usually sucks.
Yeah, city water is like, I think it's like heavily chlorinated.
Yeah, chlorinated.
But on the other hand, well water, sometimes you have the poop issue, right?
It's not that I know of. What poop issue have you had with your well water?
No, it's always been the what's it called? Wait, I gotta Google this so I don't sound too stupid. What is it? What is it? Sickness from poo water. I'll call it.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. I curious to know what your Google search history looks like.
Dysentery, I guess.
Dysentery? What are we on, the Oregon Trail?
Oregon Trail.
Get out of here.
Oh, man. But no, like, the only time I've gotten, because I've gotten sick a few times in my life from drinking contaminated well water. And it happens much more often than it does from the city. You know, something will, I don't know, somehow, like, there's the well water gets infected somehow, and then it gives you like a diarrheal sickness, and it's only happened to me from drinking from well water sources. So that's all I'm saying. It's like
I don't know. All I can tell you is if you feel tap water is in question, don't get tap water. Buy bottles of water or get a filter system for your sink.
I mean, yeah, like I have city water, and I have this filter system where it's just something that sits in my fridge. Like I fill it up with tap water.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then it runs it through this big filter, and it filters the water for me, So, like, that's what I do. And that water tastes great. Like, it takes out, I feel like most of the whatever's in the tap water. And it makes it taste all right,
Yeah.
Like, and there's a clear distance. If you go to my sink and you drink that water, and then you turn around and use the filtered water, it tastes different. There's something in there. It makes it taste different. And no one can argue with me otherwise.
Nope.
Not gonna happen.
Certainly not I.
All right, but all in all, what do we say? How do we wrap this up? Like, what's the grand idea or the main consensus of what we've discussed?
What is the main idea?
Humans are killing themselves. No.
Study on the things that you eat or you ingest. How about that? Study the things you ingest before going and putting it in your body. If you start feeling yourself get sick after something that you ate the day before or drank the day before, maybe you might want to look into it.
Yeah. Or you could do what I do and just be completely aware of all these poisons, but still enjoy them.
Yeah, just know.
So when you,
yep, this is what did it to me, and just enjoy it anyway.
I know what I'm doing, and I know what it is. The problem is, but I love it.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
That's awful. Thank you for joining us on the Merle and Locke podcast. If you enjoyed this banter, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Merle and Locke, or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.